Hi everybody, and welcome back. On our first video, we were working at some tossing and catching with the purpose of working towards a free ball jump. Now, one of the progressions we left off with last time was working on our toss, catch, catch. That would be a good starting point for today's video. So remember, you're going to toss to the opposite hand. The rhythm is toss, catch, catch. Once you're comfortable tossing with one hand first, we're always going to try tossing with the opposite hand first. I'm usually more comfortable tossing with my right first, but I'm going to make sure that I also practice left, right, catch, catch, right, left, catch, catch. Once you're comfortable with that, then we could look at adding a third ball into play. And it'll end up looking something like this. Now, to get to that point, we're going to start with a few more progressions to help you get there. So, after you've practiced your toss, and catch, you're going to have two balls in one hand and one in the other. Now what we'd like you to start with is practicing tossing with the hand that has two balls in it first. Now you're not going to be tossing both balls up together at the same time, but it's going to be the one that's sitting in your fingertips. Okay, so just for starters, just practice tossing and catching to the other hand, and you're going to wind up with two balls in this hand. Okay, so toss, catch, toss, toss, catch, toss, catch.
Happy Pajama Day. So we are going to continue with our progression with three balls. One thing that I like to do just to show you, if you've never held three in two hands before, what I like to do is with my pointer finger and my middle finger and my thumb, that is what I'm going to hold the front ball with, and then with my other two fingers on the bottom, I'm going to tuck that into my palm here. Okay, so once you are comfortable with the tossing from one hand to the other, then the next progression is going to be toss, catch, catch, which you already know. Okay, and then the next progression, we're not going to worry about the catches, we're just going to worry about the tosses. So depending on which hand you were starting with two balls in, I have two in my right hand right now. The rhythm is going to be right, left, right. I'm not going to worry about catching the balls, I'm going to let them fall at my feet, okay, and it's going to look something like this. Right, left, right. Okay? We always want to make sure that we try with both hands, so now I'm going to start with my left hand, left, right, left. Okay? Try that a couple times until you get that rhythm. One of the feedbacks that we can use is our hearing. Okay, we want the sound of the balls landing to be about the same as us saying right, left, right. Okay, once you're comfortable with that rhythm, now we're going to incorporate the catching. Okay, I'm going to start with two balls in my right hand. Just going to go right, left, right, and I'm going to try and catch all three balls. I'm going to repeat this until I get comfortable with that rhythm. If you're only comfortable throwing with one hand at the beginning, keep going back to that hand. If you want to challenge yourself, try and use the other hand as well. So in this case now I'm going to go left, right, left.
Okay, we've worked our way to the final step. Now that you're comfortable with the initial toss, we're just not going to stop. And what it's going to end up looking like is something like this. Now, one very common thing we see in the gym when we're practicing juggling is that there's a sense of panic when you get a third ball in your hand. Now, remember that there's really only one ball that you need to focus on in the air at one time, and I want you to be as patient as possible, okay? Don't toss that next ball until the first one is coming on its way down, okay? So, wait for it before we toss that next ball. Okay? Again, we want to try and keep our hands as low as possible and not chase the ball up into the air, and that's going to give you a little bit more time.
Okay, once you have the rhythm down and you get your three ball tosses going, I'm just going to troubleshoot a couple of other issues that we see often when people are learning how to juggle. The first one is people tend to toss in front of them and they end up chasing the ball forward. If this is happening to you, one thing you can do is when you are throwing your three balls, try and walk backwards The reason why we're doing this is that will force you to now throw the balls towards you instead of ahead of you. Okay? One of the other issues we find, Mr. Curtis talked about how we don't want to panic. We want to wait until that first ball is coming down before we toss our next ball to make sure we have enough time to make some adjustments when we're juggling. It's really important that we keep our hands low as well. So sometimes what we see is people start to, as they juggle, their hands get higher and higher, but that will give them less time to make adjustments. So try and keep your hands nice and low by your hips, and it will give you that extra time you need if you have an errant toss. Okay, once you are comfortable with your 3-ball cascade, some things that you can play around with creatively is how you're going to start off that first toss. To challenge yourself, you might throw it up around your back. You might have the ball balanced somewhere and then have it fall into a hand. One of Mr. Curtis's favorite is have a ball in your pocket. Try some one-handed juggling, and then incorporate that 3rd ball. It is up to you. Be creative, have fun, try new things. Good luck, jugglers.